Can't get enough of those big impact pioneers we do here on the network. Also, it is a can't-miss Friday night wrestling tripleheader. Top-ranked Penn State battles Michigan, then Iowa collides with Nebraska in a top 10 matchup, followed by Purdue against Wisconsin. Coverage begins with the wrestling pregame at 5:30 Eastern, 2:30 Pacific, only on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. And within the midst of that coverage, as always, Shane Sparks will be leading the way. And it's an exciting night in Big Ten wrestling, Shane. The Michigan at Penn State matchup, I see a lot of the conjecture out there that Penn State maybe has the chance to shut out the Wolverines, but that to me even just says more about Penn State than it does about their foe.
This Penn State team is so good. Friday night wrestling, our three favorite words as wrestling fans. And Penn State, of course, last week, they beat Iowa 30-8, won 8 of those 10 matches. And they score a ton of points. And yes, they're a heavy favorite tonight, but some really good matches I'm looking forward to. 141 pounds, Bo Bartlett and Sergio Lemley. I like that one. At 165 pounds, Mitchell Messenbrink, ranked number 1 in the country. Tech Fall master, 12 Tech Falls, tied with Matt Ramos of Purdue for the national lead. Wrestling Bo Mantanona, redshirt freshman for Michigan, really talented kid out of California. And how about the big guys? You like the big guys,
oh,
being a football
no
player.
doubt.
197 pounds. Josh Barr coming off his first loss of his college career to number 1 ranked Stephen Buchanan of Iowa last week. Now he gets Jacob Cardenas of Michigan. He came over from Cornell, 2-time All-American. He's undefeated, scores a lot of points as well, so that'll be a good one. And then at heavyweight, looking forward to this one, Greg Kirkfleet, ranked number 2 in the country behind Gable Steveson. He's wrestling Josh Heinzelman. Josh Heinzelman of Michigan, I think having more of the under-the-radar type seasons. He's 17-1. He's only got the 1 loss to Gable Steveson. At heavyweight, the 1-2 punch, Gable Steveson and Greg Kirkfleet. But I like this. In the Big Ten at heavyweight, 8 of the 12 top-ranked guys are from the Big Ten.
Oh.
So that'll be a good dual meet tonight. Yeah, Penn State, heavy favorites. They've won 66 straight. The all-time record in Division I, Oklahoma State, they won 76 consecutive from 1937 to 1951. So Penn State doing some pretty crazy things right now.
Remarkable. And a lot of Iowa fans were fairly upset. Saw them all over social media with the way things went between the Hawkeyes and the Nittany Lions. But Penn State's got things rolling at a level very few do. But there's a rebound opportunity here for the Hawkeyes as they host Nebraska. What stands out about this one?
Anytime Nebraska and Iowa wrestle, it always seems like it's exciting. Some really good individual matchups. Iowa's definitely had the better end of it in recent memory. But there's some matches that stand out. 149 pounds. This is worth the price of admission because at 149 in the Big Ten, 3 of the top 4 guys are from the Big Ten. The match tonight, Ridge Lovett, ranked number 2 in the country, versus Kyle Parko, getting my guys mixed up. Kyle Parko from Iowa. Try to figure this puzzle out. So Shane Van Ness lost to Ridge Lovett 10-2. Last week, Shane Van Ness beat Kyle Parko 17-6. But Ridge Lovett's never beaten Kyle Parko. They wrestled twice last year, most recently at the NCAA Championship. So 149 pounds, it really is who is going to show up tonight. Those guys are all so talented. But 149, Ridge Lovett, Kyle Parko, that'll be a big match. And if Nebraska wants to win, I think their path, they need some big performances at 174 pounds from a guy like Lenny Pinto. He'll be wrestling Patrick Kennedy. And then at 184, Silas Allred, a Big Ten champion 2 years ago, up at 197, now down to 184. A possible matchup with Gabe Arnold. Couple of really big matchups in that duel.
And with Purdue and Wisconsin, opportunity for each of these programs at the end of the night to see which one can come out with a win. We know this is the deepest conference in wrestling, but for them to have the opportunity to face each other, it's a chance to at least show some positive signs here as their season continues.
That's exactly it. Purdue, 1 conference win against Northwestern. Wisconsin looking for its first conference win. It's the Big Ten. I mean, opportunities, victories, they can be hard to come by when you're wrestling the top guys in the country week in, week out. They are led at 125 pounds by Matt Ramos, NCAA finalist 2 years ago, fell to Patrick Laurie of Princeton in that final. He's been remarkable this season for Tony Ersland and the Boilermakers. 21-0, got the 12 Tech Falls, as I mentioned, leads with Mitchell Messenbrink of Penn State for tops in the country. And Wisconsin's got a guy that I really like at 133 pounds, Zan Fugit out of Nixon, Missouri, coming off a nice win last week, made a decision over Jacob Van D of Nebraska. So keep an eye on those two guys. And what I like about this dual meet tonight is teams are going to come to scrap. They're honoring Eric Barnett, an All-American from Wisconsin tonight, who ended his career last March. Madison shows up. They love their wrestling in Wisconsin, and that'll be a competitive dual meet tonight.
I know, even on Big Ten Plus, there's another matchup that you really like.
We got the triple header tonight on Big Ten Network, but yes, on Big Ten Plus, big one tonight, number 4 Ohio State versus number 7 Minnesota. Gophers coming off a nice win against Rutgers. Ohio State last Saturday in Ann Arbor beat the rival Wolverines. So a couple of good dual meets there. And I want to say this real quick. Always like to give a plug for On the Mat. Big Ten Network does a phenomenal job with the On the Mat features, and you can watch those at B1G Wrestling on Instagram and Twitter. Couple that I just watched this week. One on Tom Ryan, head coach at Ohio State, had a car accident last April. Talks about him coming back both physically and mentally. Really well done. And kind of on a lighter note, Lucas Bird of Illinois, 2-time All-American, ranked top 5 in the country. He's 5'6". His girlfriend, Ellie, played volleyball at Illinois. She's 6'2". He's 5'6", she's 6'2". They got over 400 followers on TikTok, and it kind of tells their story a little bit. So some really good stuff on the mat as well. I say it all the time. What Big Ten Network has done in covering this great sport.
Fantastic.
The bar continues to raise.
Yes, there's no doubt about that, and you're obviously a huge part of that, man. You see how jacked up he is. Earpieces
Big
popped
weekend,
out.
Friday Night Wrestling.
Huge weekend in wrestling that will start Friday night on the Big Ten Network.